Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Polarizer Podcast. This episode is brought to you by Amazon. Everyone knows Amazon. It doesn't require any introduction. If you go to Amazon.com, you probably buy pretty much anything there. But if you go to Polarizer.com and you click on our Amazon link on there, you land on Amazon, where you can do all your shopping that you're used to. And it'll be the same for you, basically. But because you landed there through our website, we'll get a little kickback for every purchase you make. It doesn't make your purchase more expensive. It just takes a little cut out of Amazon's side, and it really helps. So next time you plan on shopping on Amazon, just click on our Amazon button on the website and go through there. And you can still do your shopping, and we get a little bit of kickback from Amazon. So that's all good. Everyone wins. This episode is also brought to you by Onnit. Onnit is a health and fitness juggernaut dedicated to delivering the total human optimization for everyone who's serious about being fit. They sell kettlebells and battle ropes and clubs that you can swing around, and they have energy bars and protein shakes and all kinds of good stuff. It's basically the human optimization company. They have a bunch of awesome supplements. They have stuff that makes you more alert, stuff that makes you chilled out, stuff that helps you fall asleep, stuff that helps you recover from your workout, stuff that gives you energy during your workout. It's all good. So if you go there and use promo code Polarizer, that's Polarizer, you get up to 10% off your first purchase. Purchase. You get 10% off your first purchase. I can say it. Why can't I say it? Anyway, if you buy something there, you use our promo code, you get up to 10% off. And there's also lots of cool lifestyle information there. You can read all kinds of articles for free about how to work out and home workouts, which is especially useful with this whole corona thing going on right now. So go to onnit.com and use promo code Polarizer. And finally, this episode is brought to you by Allert, A-L-L-E-R-T, for food allergies. It's a food allergy app for people who travel. Well, even though with this whole COVID situation, people are not traveling that much, this too will pass. And when it passes, the first thing you probably want to do is travel. You want to get the hell out of your house, get the hell out of your city, because you've been there the whole time. I know I have. It's starting to drive me a little crazy. So, anyway, what this app does, it generates an allergy card for one of the 14 most common allergies in more than 40 languages, which covers more than 95% of all allergies. So let's say you're allergic to peanuts or dairy. You just type that in, and you're going to travel to Poland. Yeah, why wouldn't you go there? It's a lovely place. Booze is cheap. People are friendly. But not everyone speaks English there. So you just select your allergies. You select Polish. And you press the button. And boom! The app just creates an allergy card that's dynamic and on your phone. And all the data is in the app itself. Which means you don't need a data connection. So if you're on vacation, or even if you're like in the sticks, if you're, let's say you're somewhere in a jungle and you go to a small village there. I mean, there's no jungles in Poland, but there's jungles in Thailand or South America. And if you go there, go off the beaten path, and you hang out somewhere, you eat somewhere, you gotta eat everywhere. You just pull out that app and show in the local language what you're allergic to, and that will help you survive out there, man. It's in the iOS App Store. If you look for Alert, A-L-L-E-R-T, for food allergies, you will find it for sure. I've used it myself when I was traveling throughout Asia, Southeast Asia, which was obviously before this whole COVID thing, and it really helped me out there. I'm allergic to dairy and peanuts myself, and that app really helped me along here. So that's that. Alert on the iOS App Store for food allergies. My guest today is Zuby. I've had Zuby on before on the podcast, and he's back. He made a trip through America. He went on all the big podcasts. He went on Joe Rogan and Adam Carolla, and he even went on TV. He went on Fox News with Tucker Carlson, and now he's back on an even more important podcast, the Polarizer Podcast. So that's great. I always like talking to him, and we had another fun conversation. We talked about Twitter for a little bit. We talked about his upcoming single called "Okay Dude," which is a comment that got him kicked off Twitter for a little bit. And yeah, that's it. So here's my next guest, Zuby. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Polarizer Podcast. And Zuby is back. Zuby is back for the second time. How you doing, man, in these weird times?
Yeah, hanging in there, man. Not too bad. How are you?
Pretty good, yeah, just spending a lot of time in the house, just like everyone else.
Yeah. It's, we're in a strange period right now, but, things could be a lot worse, so...
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if it can get much worse for the economy than it is right now, but...
Oh, yeah, it can. It can. I'm hoping it doesn't. I think we need to... Yeah, I think countries are starting to reopen. It looks like stuff is starting to pick back up. And I think that's what needs to be done because you don't want the cure to be worse than the disease itself.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, last time we talked, that was right before you went to the United States.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So that was a little while ago, and before that, a lot has happened in that time.
Yeah, understatement.
So, yeah, why don't you just start at the beginning of that story, man? So you had this invitation to the Joe Rogan podcast, and then on the way there, you stopped by a bunch of other, pretty much all the big ones and TV channels. I saw you on, Tucker Carlson, I think, and on Fox a bunch of times, and so let's start at the beginning, man. I want to hear that story.
Yeah, man. So I went out to the States. I spent between September and November last year. So I went out at the beginning of September and ended up staying there for 9 weeks. So I flew from the UK out to LA to begin with. I stayed in LA for 2 weeks. I did a whole bunch of stuff out there. I, of course, did the Joe Rogan invited me to do his podcast. So I was, one of the first British artists to be on the Joe Rogan Experience. Also probably one of the first totally independent artists, if not the first.
Congratulations.
So, yeah, thank you, man. So yeah, it was a big honor. I also did the Rubin Report, the Ben Shapiro Show. Fox News invited me out. I did a ton of podcasts out there. I think I did about 12 different podcasts in LA. So I'm just naming some of the biggest ones that people may know. I did the Adam Carolla Show as well. That's another really big one. Then after 2 weeks in LA, I went to San Francisco. I spent another week in San Francisco. From there, I went to Texas. So first of all, to Austin. I was in Austin for, I think about 10 days or so. Then I went to Dallas, then Fort Worth, then back to Austin. I did a whole bunch of stuff with Blaze TV out there. So I was on the Glenn Beck Show. I did Sarah Gonzalez's show, The News and Why It Matters. I was on the Chad Prather Show, Graham Allen's podcast. I just would hit the podcast circuit hard, man. Like I was just kept getting invitations to do things, and yeah, a lot of people wanting to meet me in different cities. So after Texas, I went to Atlanta. I went to the A3C Hip Hop Festival out there, and that was really awesome. Met a bunch of other upcoming artists and producers. Made some good connections over there. Spent 2 weeks in Atlanta, went from there to Nashville, spent a week in Nashville, recorded the audiobook version of Strong Advice.
Nashville's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, Nashville is cool. And then from Nashville, I went to Washington, D.C. I saw my sister and her family. In D.C., I got some crazy opportunities. I was invited to visit the Pentagon, so I got a tour of the Pentagon.
You got invited to the Pentagon?
Yeah.
All right, by some fan there, or just
I've got one of my fans works there.
Oh wow!
Yeah. And then I got invited to the White House twice. So I went to the White House on Thursday and on Friday.
Did you get to meet the big man, or?
No, he wasn't there at the time, but I mean, I met a few other people in the administration. I mean, they're the ones who invited me. So that was awesome. I did Tucker Carlson's show on Fox News, which was huge. Like a lot of people saw that. I mean, it was a relatively short segment. I think I was on there for just like 10 minutes or something, but.
Oh, for TV, that's pretty long.
Yeah. Like right after it happened, I mean, I think I gained like 4,000 followers in the next couple hours and just had people messaging me saying, "Oh, I just saw you on Tucker Carlson. You're amazing. I love the way you think. I love the way you speak. Like, God bless you, all this." So it was cool. I feel like I'm probably missing a whole bunch of stuff here as well. I'm kind of doing the brief version of this all. And then after DC, I went to New York. I was in New York for 4 days, did a whole bunch of podcasts out there in New York as well. I think I did about 7 or 8 podcasts and interviews in 4 days or something like that. And then, jumped on a plane and made my way back to the UK after.
How long did you spend over there in total?
9 weeks.
9 weeks. Okay.
9 weeks. Yeah. So it was, but it was an amazing trip. It was an amazing trip. I've been to the States before, but most of the cities I went to, I had never been to before. It was the first time going to the States for career reasons. In the past, I'd just gone there for other things or family vacations and things like that. So it was truly amazing. It was truly amazing. I did meetups in 5 different cities as well. So just connecting with some of my fans and followers from Twitter and other social media channels. We, went out for dinner with a bunch of my fans, just connecting people, bringing people together, and just met so many great people. It was just so much love out there.
And people just hit you up on Twitter like, "Hey man, are you in my city? Let's hang out. Let's have dinner."
Dude, I couldn't even say yes to everything because the opportunities were just amazing. It just kept coming. And I mean, it was great though. It was wonderful to feel that love, just get embraced by a country that's not my own. And I really loved that trip. It was very eye-opening in a lot of ways. I learned a lot from it, made a lot of new friends, connections, everything like that. And I look forward to going there again. I was supposed to be flying to LA tomorrow, but for obvious reasons, COVID-19 related, my flight has had to be postponed. So I will be back in the States later on this year, but we need to wait for this whole pandemic situation to chill out first.
Yeah. Well, I think we're all looking forward to the end of that. Well, tell me about the whole Joe Rogan experience. It seems that he has this huge building that's basically a big gym and basically a playground. Like, what is it like down there?
I don't know if I'm supposed to speak on that. I know they're quite.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know stuff leaks out, but they're pretty secretive about it. They don't like.
Did you sign something, or was it just kind of like?
No, I didn't know. I didn't sign anything, but just out of respect, I don't want to say stuff about it if they wouldn't want that going out there.
So, okay. Oh, fair enough. So,
but the experience was amazing. I mean, Joe's awesome. Joe's cool. He's the same in real life. I felt like I already knew him. I think it wasn't weird. It was weird. It was weird just being in the room in real life. Like I'm used to seeing that room on my screen or on my phone screen. And so with me actually sort of sat there in the room with Jamie to my left and Joe in front of me, I was kind of like, oh, wow, I'm in the hot seat. A lot of people have sat in this chair right here from presidential candidates to guys like Elon Musk and all these actors, comedians, musicians. Just, it was a big honor. It was honestly a big honor. And shout out to Joe Rogan for supporting me, man. He's we've chatted a few times since then. He's always very kind and he's a good dude. He's a good dude. And I appreciate it. It's just wonderful having someone someone like that who is supporting me and backing me and likes what I do and is willing to give me a platform to share my message and to introduce me to new people. Everyone who gives me those opportunities. I'm just grateful, man. I'm a very grateful person in general. Very grateful person in general because I know that I'm blessed. And everyone who supports me in any way, shape, or form, I always want them to know that they are appreciated.
Cool. So after you've been on that show, like what happened to your Twitter following? Like did it like instantly go way up or?
It was already flying. It was already flying up. I mean, I started last year with 18,000 followers. And as we record this, I think I've got like 223,000. So it's gone up by more than 200,000 in the past year.
That's a lot of people. So that's a small
city.
It
is a lot of people. It is a lot of people. And to be totally honest with you, I'm still working out how to handle it. I don't know if there is any way to totally handle it because it's weird. You know, I can just pick up my phone and I can send a message to a small city of people, and that's insane. Like, when you think of it that way, it's just like that. That's crazy. It's a very strange position to be in, and I'm very grateful for it. But it comes with its own challenges, its own benefits, pros, cons. I mean, this is something with social media and perhaps Twitter specifically is most people, I mean, even myself, I've had a bigger audience than most people for a very long time now. But I mean, like I said, I've got over 200,000 followers now, and I have no idea how people with multiple millions of followers deal with it unless they just mostly detach themselves from it, which is what a lot of people do. And I can totally understand why they do that now. I think most people don't have a clue what it's really like to have a huge audience. It's weird. I think most people think it's, I don't know. I think a lot of people just see the plus side of it. It's the same with, you know, fame and celebrity in general, right? A lot of people want to be famous. They want to be celebrities. They want to be this. They want to be that. And it's weird. You know, it's weird. I'm not even at a level, you know, I mean, we were just talking Joe Rogan. I mean, he doesn't check. He looks at Twitter, but he doesn't interact on there. He just posts things and drops. He doesn't read his mentions. And I can understand that because I've now reached the stage where I can't keep up with all my mentions. And even if I could, I wouldn't want to because
you're busy all day.
Yeah, you're busy, but also the range of stuff. I mean, there's so much love, but then you also get like the most awful negativity. You know, I've had some of the worst. I get some really, really awful comments and terrible messages. And sometimes people will even go and find my email address and write me some huge long email about how much they dislike me, which is weird, which is a weird flex to begin with because they could always just ignore me if they don't like me.
Well, you seem to piss off like the social justice warrior types, and those are just completely nuts and unhinged.
Yeah,
so.
Dude, there are a lot of people who are genuinely unhinged. Like unhinged is really the right word because the way I look at it, firstly, I'm a very positive person, right? I whether or not someone agrees or disagrees with everything I say, that doesn't matter. It's very clear that I am not I'm not some sort of evil person who is going around and trying to spread evil throughout the world, like totally the opposite of that. And it's weird how, I don't know, it's almost like a magnet. It's like how a magnet draws negativity. And it's weird how, I don't know, sometimes I kind of think of all the people in the world who are like legitimately bad people or who are evil or who are actually like hurting people or killing people or whatever, why would you spend your time trying to bring down or demean people who are decent or who are clearly trying to do the opposite? It's a very weird thing, you know. It's like, well, why that target? So someone like Joe Rogan, right? Lord knows how much hate he must get, right? And it's like, why? Do you know what I mean? Like, of course he gets way more love than hate, but why would someone hate Joe Rogan? You know what I mean? It's like, it's a weird thing. So someone might not agree with his position on this or like disagree with that. That's one thing. But when you get these people who are just oddly negative and obsessed with other people, it's a very strange thing. And I've always dealt with it to some degree being a musician. So going back over a decade, I've always dealt with some level of hate or jealousy or animosity or people trying to bring me down and talk negative to me or hurt my feelings or whatever. And I've grown a super thick skin because of it. It's pretty much an exoskeleton now. But yeah, so not a lot gets through, but at the same time, it makes me sort of wonder, like, man, what's going on in someone's life that they thought they should send me that message? Do you know what I mean? Like, why? What have I done? what have I done or said that is remotely that would remotely justify this level of anger and hostility from someone who I do not know? I don't know. Like, I think it's weird to spend your time obsessing over people who don't even know who you are, who don't even know you. It's just a weird thing. And it's like, look, all that energy, all that time, all that emotion could be channeled into something positive. And I think that's the thing maybe I find even more frustrating, because it's like, man, if you could harness this energy that you're now directing at all these other people, or just being angry at the world or being angry at everyone in it, it's like, man, if you took that time and energy and you put it into something positive, then, you could be a lot more successful and a lot more happy, rather than lashing out at everybody who is successful and is happy. It's just I don't know. I think it's part of human nature. I think it's always been there for thousands and thousands of years, but it is weird.
It's more visible now with social media.
Yes.
Like everyone with a phone or a computer can go on there and say their, things. And there's a lot of nutty people out there who now suddenly have a voice, and they find their tribe of nut jobs, and they all just tend to band together, and they go after guys like you or Joe Rogan or whoever. I think
and it is a minority. So most people who follow me and appreciate, the love massively outweighs the hate. But if you've got a couple 100,000, or let alone a few million people who know who you are, then even if just 1% of them really doesn't like you, then that's still a lot of people. It's still so it might be like, oh, okay, you've got, out of 100,000 people, maybe 99,000 of them love you, or at least like you, or don't mind you. But then that 1,000 who really, really, I don't know, for whatever reason, have decided, and it's not even that they hate you, because I don't think you can hate someone you don't know. Right. There's no, and I'm pretty sure, I'm 99% sure that, it's like an avatar they build in their brain, because
they hate the avatar version of you.
I'm almost certain that if I met anyone who's ever sent me some horrible, mean message or whatever, I am 99% certain that if I met that person in real life, in a normal scenario, they would probably like me. Right. I can, unless they themselves just have some huge issue and I can get on with almost anybody. It doesn't mean I'm going to be best friends with everybody, but I can be polite, cordial, civil with anybody. Show me respect, I'll show you respect. Like, my default is to be kind and to respect people. And that's how I was raised, right? That's just how I am. I'm not going to be unkind to someone for whatever reason. If I meet a stranger, I'm going to be kind and friendly and whatever. But I think that, online, for a whole bunch of reasons, some people behave in very strange ways. And I think sometimes people forget that. Firstly, I think some people just kind of get off on it. Some people just like to get the high of having someone respond or react to them, even if that reaction is negative.
Right. It's some attention, even if it's negative.
Exactly. It's some attention. Some people are just bored. And some people just are
jealous.
I don't know. Yeah, some people are jealous. Some people are envious. Some people just, maybe some people just genuinely misunderstand things, because a lot of communication can get lost, especially on a medium like Twitter, where you're not even seeing the person or hearing their voice, and they're not there in front of you. It removes a lot of the natural human connection. Right. So I think sometimes I think often people forget that there's another human on the other end. Right. So when people are saying stuff online, it's the same with YouTube comments and everything. I think sometimes people forget, okay, you're actually talking to other human beings. Right. You're not talking, it seems like you're just writing to the computer. You're just tapping into a keyboard, but there's another human being on the end of this who does have who does have a life and who does have feelings and who does have, like a family and things they care about and whatever it is. And it dehumanizes people in that way.
That's
I think that,
it's like a different version of road rage. I think, you're in your own little bubble and you're safely removed from the other person. So it's even easier to just lash out,
Yeah. And there's no repercussions, I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, people are pretty polite. People are pretty polite to me in person. And, I mean, look, the another reality is people don't say this, but in real life, you can get punched in the face.
That's true.
Okay. And this, I'm not saying this to be a tough guy, but in real life, you don't go up to, any man who is socially calibrated knows you don't just go up to another man and insult them, right? Because unless if you do, you are prepared that this could escalate to a violent situation, right? You don't just go around the street like just shouting at people, random strangers, people you don't even know, calling them names. Hey, you, right? And if you do that, it's like, well, there are potential repercussions for it, and everybody knows that. And I think subconsciously that's kind of always there, and it sort of keeps people in check. But I think online, you could be a 15-year-old who weighs like 50 kilos and is built like a twig, and you can go on like some MMA fighters.
Oh yeah.
Some heavyweight MMA fighters, Twitter, Instagram, and you can be there like, yeah, I'm going to do this to you. And you can say like the craziest stuff, which there is no way on earth you would even dream of saying that if the person was sort of standing or sitting in front of you. So
if you go on like Mike Tyson's Twitter or any MMA fighter Twitter, or YouTube MMA fights, there's so many people talking shit on there. Like yeah, man, he sucks, or yeah, like I'd get in the ring with him and I'll kick his ass.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure.
Of course, yeah. And then if they saw him in person, they'll ask for an autograph and a photo too. That's the best part.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird, man. Have you ever played online video games and have like 12-year-olds yell at you and insult your mother and stuff? It's a different version of that, but it's kind of, I think that's an even better example of what social media is like.
I'm not an online gamer, but I'm very aware of this phenomenon, so I know that it exists.
Yeah, but yeah, and social media. There's a lot of good things to come out of it, but also bad things. And I just look at it. I'm nowhere near as I don't have nearly as much followers as you do, obviously. But sometimes I get into like little arguments with people, and I always just I don't take it that seriously. I just see it as whatever. No. It's fun, but I also try to keep in mind like anything I put out there is out there forever. So if I'm just gonna say dumb stuff, that's gonna be, even when I delete it, someone's gonna be able to salvage that. I mean, especially with the whole crazy cancel culture that's going on.
Oh,
now.
gosh,
People are digging up tweets from like 10 years ago when someone said something that is offensive now but wasn't offensive then.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah, man. I just have a couple of rules that I follow. I'm probably going to need to invent some new ones as I keep growing.
I like Zuby's razor. I like that one.
Zuby's razor. Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I have a couple rules like on
it's like
of how I conduct myself on social media. So there are things that I don't do. And some of them are pretty basic, and I don't think people necessarily would know them, but for example, I do not attack individuals, right? So a lot of people on Twitter or on social media will specifically call out an individual and say da-da-da about this person, right? People talk crap about me all the time, right? Whether they at me or they don't, whatever. I don't do that to people, right? So I may criticize an idea or a concept, or I may generalize and say some people do this or some people are like that, but unless otherwise strongly provoked, I don't talk about individuals. Like I don't do it. I don't direct my followers to harass people. I don't insult people. If someone throws like a really horrible insult at me, then sometimes, even then, they normally don't get one back. right? They normally just catch a block and possibly a sarcastic comment. But yeah, I've got certain rules that I just kind of follow on there to try to keep stuff, I don't know, to try to keep stuff civil, because I mean, for a lot of reasons, for other people, also for myself. And yeah, I guess, like you said, I mean, it's sort of weird to think of yourself as a public figure, but to some degree, I am a public figure. Probably a couple million people know who I am and know that I exist. So by definition, I'm not some super celebrity or whatever, or someone who can't walk down the street. No, I can do that happily. But at the same time, I've got a lot of reach and a lot of people do know who I am. So I do think it's important, just like I do in my music, I do think it is important to conduct myself in a certain way. And that doesn't mean being super professional all the time. Not at all. I'm just about authenticity. So sometimes I'm serious. Sometimes I make jokes. Sometimes I troll. Sometimes I'm sarcastic, like whatever. That's my natural personality. So I don't sort of filter that out. And I think that's why people enjoy my content, because they know that it's just me and it's just authentic, and I don't apologize for things I'm not sorry for, and I don't say things that I don't believe. And if I am sorry for something, then yeah, I would apologize. Or if I get something wrong, I'm happy to admit I got something wrong, whatever. And it doesn't always work. I mean, for every follower you have, that's another translation of whatever it is you're putting out there. So I could write one tweet and it gets hundreds of thousands of different translations and interpretations. And if someone wants to take something totally out of context, or sometimes you just get someone who's simply not intelligent enough to understand a point that is being made, or people who don't understand certain types of humor. And I've just kind of learned to accept, you know what, some people are going to misunderstand me. And that is okay. I used to struggle with that. I used to never want anyone to misunderstand me. But now it's like, look, I'm going to be as clear as I can be, but some people won't get it. And it's okay if some people don't get it.
There's also plenty of people who don't want to get it because you're like a straight white male Nazi white supremacist, right? I mean, I've seen you being that called on Twitter.
I don't think I've ever been called a straight white male. I've definitely been called a white supremacist and a Nazi, which is ironic. But yeah, man, I just don't. I'm weird, One, I'm just not a very emotional person, which actually serves me well in most cases. But also, I'm very confident in who I am. I know who I am. I know what I believe. I'm proud of myself. I'm not ashamed of myself. If someone insults me and calls me something that I'm not, it doesn't really bother me because I'm not that thing. If someone calls me something that I am, I'll be like, yeah, cool. Yes, I am. So there's not really much that people can throw at me that A, I haven't heard before, or two, that is really gonna bother me and phase me for a long time, man. The mission is so much bigger. When I see the amount of people who are being impacted by what I do, when I look at my DMs and I'm seeing the love, I'm seeing people telling me that I've changed their lives. I've had people tell me that I pretty much saved their life. And that is crazy, right? That's amazing.
Is it based on your fitness advice or your general life advice, or?
Based on a lot, man. I've had people who, told me that my music and my words and even certain tweets have helped them to get through periods where they were considering suicide. I've had people who have had cancer and other like serious health conditions, and they were listening to my music and my podcasts and my interviews, and they were listening to the things I was saying, and it helped them to not give up. And yeah, or people just seeing what I do and then going, oh, wow, okay, this guy's out there chasing his dreams every day and he's doing what he's doing. So it inspires people. It gives people courage. It lets people know, oh, okay, if he's doing that, why can't I do that? Why can't I do that? And people need those examples. So when I see some of the crazily positive stuff that really inspires me when someone tells me that I inspire them, that in itself inspires me. So there is nothing anybody can say that is like on the negative that is even close to making a dent in all of the positive. So I know for a fact that thousands upon thousands of people get a lot of value and motivation and inspiration from the various things that I do. So, and that's literally my goal in the world, is to do that. So yeah, nothing's going to take me off that mission, right? You know, if anything, it'll just fuel it further.
Nice. What's have you ever been misrepresented by the traditional media, or is it just Twitter craziness?
That's a good question. I don't think maybe I'm not yet in the
You're not on the radar yet.
In their crosshairs. yeah. I think there are sort of bigger people in the crosshairs for them. But look, I've been looking at all this stuff for a while, so I don't know. I don't really need to worry about misspeaking because I know what I believe. So as long as I'm honest and I'm true to myself, then I'll be okay. I'll be okay, right? I don't lie. I don't get caught in webs of lies. I just tell the truth. I'm me. If someone doesn't understand something and they want me to explain it, then sure, I'm happy to. If someone just disagrees with something and wants to offer an alternative view, I'm happy to listen. So it's okay, right? I think what screws a lot of people is that they're inauthentic and that they're dishonest and that they're hypocrites and that they say one thing and then they're easy to catch out because they say one thing here and then 2 years later or 2 weeks later, they're then saying something totally different. And people are like, oh, wait, hang on, right? People keep tabs of that kind of thing. And it's very easy for people, once they start telling lies, to just get caught up in a massive lie. Or if you have a false persona, right? If Zuby was just an act, if Zuby was just like I'm in real life, I'm a totally different person, but then on social media or in my music, I'm pretending to be something totally different. And this happens in music a lot, by the way, especially in hip hop. You get people who put on a persona. So who they are as a rapper is totally different to who they are in real life. And that can lead people into bad situations. It can really lead people into bad situations. So I'm a big believer in just being honest and being authentic and truly being yourself, being the best version of yourself, working to improve yourself, but truly representing yourself in an honest way. And if you do that, then the people who like you will like you for the right reasons. And the people who don't like you, well, tough luck. You can't be liked by everybody. And in fact, if everybody likes you, it probably means that you're pretty weak.
Yeah, right? I think it's a pretty famous Winston Churchill quote. Like, if people dislike you, you stood up for something in life, and that's good. Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's love and hate are not really opposites. They're sort of manifestations of strong emotions. I mean,
that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. I mean, if someone subscribes to your YouTube channel just to dislike videos and leave mean comments, that person is pretty close to a fan. That person is more of a fan than the person who just is not interested at all, right? Because they're still watching you. They're still, I mean, they've actually done some surveys and things they've shown, which have, like on radio programs and stuff, which shows that people who, what they call hate listeners. So if you have someone who hates a radio DJ or a podcaster or whatever, they actually listen to more. They spend more time listening. They pay more attention than the sort of casual fans,
right?
Because they're there. Maybe they want you to say something that they can take out of context, and that they can, right? They want to prove their thing still. So they're still kind of obsessed with you. They still like you in a way. It's just that it's mingled with jealousy. So it comes out in this very bizarre, strange way. Like if I don't like something, I tend to just ignore it.
Right.
Unless it's like,
it's a good strategy.
Yeah. And unless it's something that's, harming me or trying to hurt other people or something, typically I'll just ignore it and not engage with it. I won't spend hours every day telling them again and again and again how much I don't like who they are or what they're doing or whatever. Like that's, like I said, that's not even like normal fan behavior. That's like it's just like a slight inverse on a super fan. It's almost like groupie behavior.
Right.
And it's a strange thing.
Right. All right. So, I see we don't have that much time anymore. So what's next for Zuby? You just put out a new single, which we're going to listen to in a little bit, but,
okay.
You put out, your, fitness book on Twitter. I saw that you were going to put a Twitter, how to go viral on Twitter thing with someone else.
Yeah, it's more than just going viral. So I've been working on a course called Conquering Twitter with my friend Jose Rosado. And
I follow him too. He's pretty interesting, man. Like
he's cool, man. Yeah, he's a good guy. So yeah, we're gonna teach people growth, engagement, how to create, promote, and sell on Twitter. Whether you run a business, you are trying to launch a product, a service, whatever it is. Because a lot of people, I feel like everyone knows you can make money on YouTube. Everyone knows it's possible to make money on Instagram. Everybody knows it's possible to make money on Facebook. And I feel like most people aren't even aware that you can make money on Twitter, and you can make 5-6 figures. I know people who make 7 figures a year on Twitter.
Wow.
Right. And most people don't even know that is possible. So yeah, we want to show people how to really build an audience, how to grow engagement, how to go viral, what to do when you do go viral, and how to network and really build something awesome on Twitter rather than just using it to waste your time and to put yourself in a bad mood.
So what's one thing that works really well as a little preview or a little spoiler for the
for what aspect of it?
Well, just one good tip from that upcoming book that you're writing.
Okay, before you ever put anything on social media, so people are on social media for 2 reasons. Number 1, they want to be informed / they want to learn something. Or number 2, they want to be entertained. These are the only reasons people listen to podcasts, go on Instagram, use Twitter, use Facebook. They want information and they want entertainment. So if your content is not doing either of those, why are you doing that? Right? If you're putting a tweet, if I just post a tweet which says I'm drinking this drink right here, right? It's not informative and it's not entertaining. So that would be a crap tweet. And 90% of tweets are crap. 90% of content online on social media is crap because people are not teaching anything and they are not entertaining. And if you look on any account that you follow that has a large following that you find interesting, that you find valuable, I can guarantee you that they are entertaining or informative or both. So every single piece of content you put out there should be one of those 2, because that is how you grow a following, because people want value added to their lives.
That's a good one. That's a good tip. I just learned something new.
There you go.
So
yeah. So yeah, run it through that filter before you put it out there. Think, is this entertaining or informative or both? If the answer is no, then don't put it out there.
All right. Well, let's listen to your latest single called "Okay, Dude," which is a comment that got you banned from Twitter for a little bit. Can you briefly tell that story, because it's pretty funny?
Oh gosh, it doesn't even make sense when I try to tell the story. It doesn't even make sense because it doesn't make sense. Okay, so I had a tweet going viral on Twitter about 5 pieces of advice for single women to make themselves more attractive to men. And it proved to be highly controversial, even though there was nothing that controversial on there, and it was all true. And
that's because it's controversial, because it's true.
And someone responded saying, "This is stupid," or something like that. "You don't know what you're talking about. I bet I sleep with more women than you do." And I just responded saying, "Okay, dude." And a week later, I got a notification from Twitter saying that this comment was a violation of their hateful conduct policy, and I was suspended for Twitter for several days for writing "Okay, dude." That's literally all I wrote, and this was my first interaction with this person. So yeah, there we go. But it's okay. I got a new single out of it, sold a few hundred t-shirts, and "Okay, dude" is now a meme, so it's brilliant.
All right, well, let's listen to it.
You know, Zuby got deplatformed.
There's
he got
Joe.
kicked off of Twitter. This is crazy. Zuby is a musician. He's a rapper from the UK who's been on the podcast. I mean, the dude doesn't even swear. And someone said, "I bet I sleep with more women than you do," to which he writes, "Okay, dude." And they decided by him saying, "Okay, dude,"
Okay.
that is grounds for being banned from Twitter temporarily.
Oh, you don't like my style?
Okay, dude.
Oh, you don't like my lyrics?
Okay, dude.
Oh, you don't like my politics?
Okay, dude.
Do you even know what knowledge is?
Okay, dude.
Oh, now they want to mention me.
Okay, dude.
So now they wanna censor me.
Okay, dude.
I got blood and dragon energy, and I control my legacy, and I got friends and enemies. I'm working hard to make a milli, baby. Flow is never wheezy. Couple 100,000 fans, and it all started with a CD. Used to hustle on the street, and now they see me on the TV, going viral like Corona, so they try to quarantine me. A couple real celebrities, but most of them are frauds. Tell you how I really feel, because my only fear is God. They be lying on the media and lying through the mob. Hate a simp on social media, they've never seen a broad. I be coming to America like Sammy and Akeem. I'm uniting black and white and brown like Martin Luther's dream. And I get around the internet like presidential memes. And I did it independently, I never had a team. You've come a long way, please don't go commercial now. Careful with your words, don't be controversial now. Winning nothing less, F a victimhood mentality. Cause I am not oppressed, and that's a check to your reality. Oh, you don't like my style?
Okay, dude.
Oh, you don't like my lyrics?
Okay, dude.
Oh, you don't like my politics?
Okay, dude.
Do you even know what knowledge is?
Okay, dude.
Oh, now they wanna mention me.
Okay, dude.
So now they wanna censor me.
Okay, dude.
I got blood and dragon energy, and I control my
How's the response to this so far?
It's not out yet.
Oh, so this is the
No.
premiere, huh?
It comes out this coming Friday. I don't know when this podcast goes out, but it comes out on May 8th. So there's no response yet because it's not out yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So are you
this is a
okay
little
with
preview.
putting it out before it's officially out? Or?
I don't mind, man. Maybe do like half of it.
Okay, we'll just
Yeah.
fade
Just
it
make
out
sure you
then.
don't. Although, yeah, I was actually going to say maybe be careful with the. I don't know about the copyright situation. I don't want you to get a copyright
it's
violation.
YouTube, right?
Yeah, because my stuff might get recognized automatically.
Oh yeah, even like you put it out completely yourself, right? Like
It's
there's-
totally independent, but my distributors, there's people who manage my rights and stuff, so
right.
it might get picked up in the system. But I don't know. But just saying, a snippet will probably be fine, but I don't know. I don't know all the rules. I don't know all the rules with these things.
It's
it always
weird,
changes.
It's
It's kind of weird. But if any issues, let me know, and I can probably do something to. I don't.
Well-
Well, if YouTube is like, oh, hey, you copyright violated or whatever, like, let me know, and I'll message them or whatever to get it sorted out.
Oh, thanks, dude. Well, YouTube seems to be the only one who's weird about it, because if you listen to other podcasts that are just on iTunes, they just play all kinds of songs, and
Yeah.
they just do it without problems, I think.
Yeah, I think it's because YouTube has the automated system,
Yeah.
and it's pretty strong.
Yeah.
I've been copyright flagged for putting my own songs on my own channel, so it's pretty sensitive.
It's, yeah, I mean, that's a whole another thing we can talk about next time. But the whole Google AI and the Google algorithms, that stuff, it's gotten so smart and kind of scary, and the people who are in control of all that intelligence kind of scare me. So
Yeah,
it's well, anyway, where can people find you and listen to your music and find you on social media? Let's wrap
Awesome.
this one up.
Yep. So I am on all social media at Zuby Music, ZUBY Music. Twitter is the best place to follow me, but I'm also on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And you can find my music on all the usual platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, whatever you use.
Cool. Well, Zuby, thanks again. That was good, man.
You're welcome, man.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to the podcast. Go to the polarizer.com to see all the show notes, to get more background information about this episode and every other episode. And you can find all the previous episodes there with all the other previous guests and all that good stuff. And as always, if you shop on Amazon, click the Amazon button on the website so you land on Amazon through thepolarizer.com, which gives us a little kickback every time you buy something, which helps the podcast to stay on the air, or stay on the internet rather. And go to onnit.com, onnit.com, and use the promo code Polarizer, that's POLARIZER, to get up to 10% off your purchase. And finally, go to the iOS App Store and download Alert, ALERT, for food allergies, which is a great tool for people who travel and have a food allergy, even though right now that might be not that relevant with the whole COVID stuff. But once all that's over, and it will be over one day, then it'll be a great companion for you. And that's it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. The next episode I'm currently working on is very cool. It's with a lady who actually escaped Cuba, who fled Cuba because Fidel Castro was taking over, and we talked for 3 hours about her escape. They actually went on a boat and went under the deck to escape that place, to escape the dirty, filthy communists. So that's a good conversation, and so that's up next. Anyway, thank you all for listening, and tot ziens.